Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Scorpio for November 2015. I'm trying on a different format where I'm still doing the individual horoscopes as you're watching here for Scorpio, but I'm breaking them up into, or the information that I want to give you up, into the individual horoscopes and then one separate video for all signs that talks about all the general transits. Usually I would commingle the general implications with the ones with your sign, but I'm trying something different. So you definitely want to look on my YouTube channel for November 2015 Astrology All Signs, because there's so many exciting things going on in November that I'm not going to go into detail with and possibly won't even mention in this video that is specific to Scorpio and where personal planets are moving for Scorpio. So go to my website, aspiritualspark.com, where you can see more about my growing list of self-development tools, most of which are priced between $16 and $26 to make them really accessible for anyone who's interested in improving their lives. So we've got a lot to talk about. Let's do a very quick general summary of the energy of the month for November. This is something that I go into more detail with in the November video for all signs. But the first 3 weeks of November are really this time we've been waiting for. This is where there's all green lights. Basically, you know, when you hit that one light and then you get the rest of them because they're timed in such a way that you're like, whoa, green light, green light, green light. That's what we have in the first 3 weeks of November. We've been waiting for this for a long time because we've had one or more influences from personal planets being retrograde since the springtime. It's a long time. And so now this is the time to launch things, the time for new things, the time to instigate things, the time to make decisions. And it's very exciting. And there's a little bit of diciness at the end of the month, which I go into details about in the other video. But that's kind of the general overview. We're done with most of the drama from the eclipses. We're done with Mercury retrograde, we're done with Venus retrograde, and we're ready to roll. Okay, so the next order of business for Scorpios is birthdays. If you haven't had your birthday in October, you're having your birthday in November. Happy birthday. I love birthdays, and birthday time is a magical time to harness the power of the birthday wish. If you've been watching me for over a year, then you have heard me talk about from last year that the birthday wishes are astrological. The sun in the sky represents the things you want. Each of the planets have a representation of some facet of our lives and our expression. And the sun represents what we want, what we desire, what makes us glow with vibrance. And when the sun in the sky gets to the same point as it was in your chart when you were born, then there's a magical portal open for your desires. So you want to make your birthday wishes, you want to make 10 of them, you want to, I got that from Jan Spiller. She talks about 10 new moon wishes, which I also applied to the birthday wishes. So you get these birthday wishes, you write them down, you say them out loud, and most importantly, you feel them as if they're coming true. The more you can visualize them and feel them as if they're coming true, that supercharges your manifestation. So the 4 weeks before your actual birthday, and you later, Scorpios, are going to be experiencing the month predominating with this experience, and the earlier your birthday is, the less of November will be, this will be relevant, what I'm about to say. But that is the sun moving through your 12th house. When the sun moves through your solar 12th house, as it does in the 4 weeks before your actual birthday, which you can calculate by looking at your birthday, it really, a lot of times people feel funky. I had one Scorpio write last month, because I had talked about this for the early birthdays, that he has the opposite experience. Instead of the 4 weeks before his birthday feeling funky or feeling low or feeling depressed or having things, kind of old things come up, he feels really energized and tends to thrive. And I love that. I love that. Personal experiences can be determined by many different things. But something specific I was thinking about regarding Scorpio is that many people with strong Scorpio energy actually thrive in conflict or challenge. So that to me would be one explanation why some people, especially people with strong Scorpio in their chart, may thrive when they have points of conflict within their chart, because that's the energy of transformation of Scorpio, you know? It makes me think of like imagining Thor, you know, big, how he looks in the movie. I don't know how he really looks, right? But big and powerful and kind of like throwing his head back and, you know, like asking the gods to just bring it on, and then lightning strikes and he's just kind of there, this solid force and managing everything. You know, that's the higher evolution. That's the highest vibration of Scorpio energy, is this super powerful, thriving in the midst of change, thriving in the most difficult situations, transmuting any possible thing that comes, really just embodying that energy of spiritual ninja that I always talk about. So I don't know how you're going to experience these times when the sun moves through your 12th house, but if you do notice that you get a little funky before your birthday, this is purposeful because the universe is trying to put a spotlight in the areas of life that aren't working for you. In the areas of life, those are embodied by the 12th house. It's like the attic of your life, you know, where things are kind of forgotten and there's treasures in there. And there's also difficult things you don't want to look at in there. But when you have the spotlight of the sun there, you can work with them. And the more you work with them, the more you're in a position when the sun crosses over your ascendant of this solar chart. So whether that's for your birthday or the energy for your ascendant, if you're watching for your ascendant, whatever degree your ascendant is at, then this whole new rebirth starts. And your rebirth is based on what you're deciding through that process of reconsideration that you don't want to take with you into your rebirth. So speaking of this 12th house, there's a huge focus on the 12th house for all early, middle, and late Scorpios. You early degree placements have the new moon there. You middle degree placements have the new moon there, as well as the sun and Mercury. You later degree placements will have the new moon there as well. So, and also the sun and Mercury also. So whether it's one placement or multiple placements as I've listed here, early, middle, and late have this strong focus on the 12th house. And the 12th house is really about reviewing and letting things go and facing fears. It's very Harry Potter-like, you know, when he comes to understand that the fears that seem to be based on things around him are really internal, and that they're just reflecting the internal space that he has. His problems are being projected basically into his outer life. So this 12th house very much represents the origin of the fears and the problems that we experience in the external world is in this 12th house, in this energy within us. So reviewing, letting go, also recharging your spiritual batteries, whatever that looks like for you. If that means going out into nature, or if that means meditating, or if that means being internal and quiet, or journaling, whatever recharges those batteries. And that's on all levels, not just spiritually, just physically. If you need some physical rest, this energy, this focus on the 12th house is asking you or bringing you the opportunity to do that. Sometimes that involves withdrawing from social energies. Sometimes that involves deep soul searching, which I think is a normal thing that happens before the birthday, and part of that is because the sun is there. And this is also the time where you want to surround yourself with soul food, you know, like what just feels cozy and emotionally and spiritually safe and awesome for you. So all of you have that going on. At the same time, you have this strong energy in the 11th house. Both the early, all the early, middle, and late Scorpio placements all have this. The early ones have Venus and Mars, as well as this Venus-Mars conjunction, which is a magical sweet time around the days of November 2nd. The middle degree placements will have Venus and Mars there, also this Venus and Mars conjunction. The early degree placements also have Jupiter there. The middle degree placements have the North Node there. Actually, that North Node energy is strong for all Scorpios. I don't often talk about North Nodes, and this was brought up to me by one of my apprentices. She said, why don't you ever mention the North Node? And sometimes, well, mostly really, it's because I don't have the time to add something else in because I'm already covering so much. But the North Node is one of the most important placements in your natal chart. My astrology practice is actually nodally based. And the energy of North Node is your highest expression in this lifetime. So wherever it's transiting, that energy of that house is the key to which, the key that pulls you on your highest path. And for all of you, this energy is in the 11th house, as well as the other things that I mentioned. For you late degree placements, you've got Mercury and the new moon in the 11th house. So regardless of how it's coming in for your particular placement, there's major focus on the 11th house, which is quite contrary in some ways to the 12th house. So you might see both of these conflictive energies at play. So the 11th house has to do with networking, friends, busyness, active social situations. It has to do with the rewards of enriching interactions with others. You know, like when you go to a party or gathering and you leave and you're just, you're so happy and full with the synergy and the energies that you met up with in that space. That's what the 11th house is all about. It's about groups working together as teams. It's about big picture topics like humanitarian efforts and just in general the big picture. The 11th house is also big dreams that you have. Not the dreams at night, but your big dreams. So there's a big focus on that energy for all of you. It's very yummy, but it's also very active. And so you might see yourself having this draw to be out with the energies and then wanting to go back in and kind of rest. And that's a really good idea, is to pull in and rest and recharge and then go out and have some interactions, then come in and process them. So the energy of the 10th house, you've had lots of seeds planted for career, work, and life purpose. You middle and later degree placements still have Jupiter at work there. You early degree placements still have the energy of Jupiter growing plants from the seeds you planted while Jupiter was there. So career, work, and life purpose is very active. Things involving father or father figures. The full moon, okay, so the new moon that I mentioned that you all will experience in your 12th house, and some of you later degree placements may experience this in the 11th house. But this new opening, this seed planting happens around November 11th. That's the day of the new moon. Then November 25th, we've got the full moon. And so fullness, completion, sometimes drama, sometimes necessary focus comes to the energy where the full moon is. So for you, so that's either going to happen in your 8th or 7th house. And both of these are partnership houses. So something related to partnership or collaboration with money or certain key relationships may come up as having something around there. So if something is brewing, you might see it come to a fruition at that time at the end of the month. So I can't see what's going on in your individual chart. If you're interested in having my personal guidance, you can check out my coaching package on my website. You can also see more about my growing list of my apprentices who are starting to be ready to assist you. And definitely check out my self-development tools on my website and sign up for my free email newsletter where I give you a monthly write-up the month before of some of the things I talk about, some additional things in a written version so that you have a better understanding and a more tangible place to understand what the energies are at play. So you can do that all on my website, aspiritualspark.com. And I hope you have a wonderful month. Take care.